Wait, hold on, that isn't a real Pokemon? Okay, but like, what if? Regitube, one of the most recent Pokemon memes that kinda spawned a life of its own. So it all started when the TikTok account for a business called the Tube Shack posted a video in which one of their employees stacked a bunch of inner tubes on himself and began walking around. This video was reposted on Twitter with Pokemon music, and it continued spreading from there with a lot of fan art, memes, and most prominent being a very impressive BDSP mod by Yusuno. So far the name Regitube has been used the most. I've been loving all of these, and of course we'll link everything in the description. Though it did get me thinking, what if Regitube was real? Of course if we did actually get a water type Regi, it wouldn't look exactly like this and would have a different name like Regiaqua or something. But let's entertain the idea. Even though it does kinda go against all the nifty theming that the Regis have for being representative of different ages throughout history, I'm sure you could always retcon or make something up. It could represent a primordial time before humans even. Or who knows, maybe even a flooded future. For the moment, I think an interesting idea would be incorporating Regitube into the Abyssal Ruins from Pokemon Black and White. A very interesting place with its own puzzles and challenges, very reminiscent of what you needed to do in order to obtain the original trio in Ruby and Sapphire. And hey, with the upcoming Indigo Disc DLC taking place in the oceans of Unova, the Blueberry Academy would be the perfect place to tease something like this for the future. You know, while we're all on the Black and White remake copia, might as well go all in for the fanfiction. So the Abyssal Ruins are a location off the coast of Undella Town that serve as a resting place for several relic items as well as some vague lore. It's said to have a connection to a king of times past, though again nothing really specific. In the anime at least, it was recontextualized to have a connection to Meloetta and a group of people meant to protect it. Meanwhile in the video games, Meloetta has nothing to do with it. So I guess that's some confirmation that there weren't any solid plans of what the lore behind all of this would be. It still has some amazing theming and almost this Atlantean vibe that is just begging to be explored. I think an easy way to tie everything together is to say the kingdom that once stood there were the ones who sealed away Regitube, in the same way that the others typically are in previous games. I think there definitely would be an emphasis on the king himself who's mentioned in the Abyssal Ruins because again he's pretty important, whoever he is, so maybe the king himself could be the one who sealed away the Regi Pokemon for the protection of everybody. And I mean the Unova region doesn't not make sense to have a Regi Pokemon. I mean Black 2 and White 2 have their own caves that house the Regis in Generation 5. In a hypothetical remake, it could all be connected, or you know, you just have Regitube there anyway. The point is that Regirock, Regice, and Registeel are obtainable in a named location at all, and the Abyssal Ruins are a mysterious and relatively unexplored place. So a Unova remake would be a great time to introduce a hypothetical water-type Regi. I definitely think saving it for the Abyssal Ruins specifically could help flesh out that location. Granted, we get some more backstory as the Regi are often just there. It would be a good opportunity to set this apart by building it up even more. The original puzzle of the Abyssal Ruins involves strong currents that would expel the player after a certain number of steps taken, as well as coded messages. Again, very familiar and appropriate. Adding some additional lore in these messages and an extra chamber with its own clues that contain this monster wouldn't be too much. But as for this big water boy himself, what would it be like in battle? All of the other Regi Pokemon have a base stat of 580, with one stat excelling far beyond the others at 200, except in the case of Registeel, which has an even 150 in defense and special defense. Also, I noticed that none of the other Regis have that 200 stat in attack or special attack because that would be way too dangerous. So I decided on another split of 150 in HP and speed. That way it could be the balance for Regidrago and Regieleki that Registeel is for the original trio. It would get access to a bunch of water type moves and maybe could even have a signature ability as well, to complete the more recent Regi trio. I also imagine this wouldn't be an easy battle as these golems have all been known to put up a fight. Make sure you pack a bunch of Ultra Balls or Dive Balls if you want the best one for aesthetic. But that's about all I've got for this weird little thought experiment. Honestly, I just love Pokemon memes and especially love when the community comes together for something like this, continuously adding another piece of lore to create an original work. I hope I was able to add my own little flair effectively. Weirdly enough, I'm also just a big fan of the design, even though it is literally just a bunch of inner tubes stacked on top of each other. It's a big water type Pokemon, of course I'm gonna like it whether it's real or not. The color is even perfect, it's got the Gatorex thumbnail border blue. I think I'll steal it as a new mascot. So let me know what you think about this meme turned Pokemon. Do you vibe with my suggestions or do you have better ideas? Leave a comment down below. Anyway, I should probably go grab an inner tube. I hear Undella Town is pretty nice even this time of year. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, especially the great Gators. Alex Swiss, Cheeseburger Lasers, DeAndre, Dunkatino II, Jen Eric, Cosmos Zero, Justin Duaz, Justin R, Meme Supreme, Nomad Nobi, Phantom, Pio the Genius, Quago, Tajirai, Volity, and Pastel Blood. If you would like to support, get a shout out here as well as access to emotes for comments and live streams and sometimes early videos, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter for more memes and Twitch for more streams. Anyway, this has been Gatorex and I'll catch you all later.
Pokemon trading card game Black and White, boundaries crossed. Legendary Pokemon EX and new Ace Spec trainer cards combine for even more power. In stores now. Each booster pack of 10 cards sold separately. Cards vary by pack. One code card per booster pack.